Assalamualaikum and good greetings. So today I'll be watching a video by the Muslim Lantern titled Ex-Muslims Question Islam Part 1 Muhammad Ali Speaker's Corner. So I'm assuming there will be some ex-Muslim at the booth that either question Islam or saying something about Islam from their own experience, I guess. Without further ado, let's watch.
In my personal belief, Islam is sort of created for the modern world, which was used for civilizing society back then, and it was necessary for that because it gave a modern world, it gave, technological advancements and morals and beliefs and standards for those times. And because it gave that, a lot of people had belief in it, a lot of followers started, and that's why it became so big. And that's the same with Judaism, it's the same with Christianity. So you saying, okay, it's a big religion, so I'm going to research big ones, isn't necessarily true. I'm not specifically saying...
I don't think you understood what I said then. Let me repeat what I said again. But the important point is what you're saying does not correspond to reality.
I get what you're saying.
And it makes sense because you have not studied Islam. So these social structures were already in place through Judaism, which you have mentioned, and Christianity, they were already there. And there were also other pagan religions in place, and there was social structures, and there was advancement in the Roman and Persian Empire. So Islam did not bring what you're claiming it did. That was not the unique thing about it. What was unique, it was the truth. But what you didn't get my point when I said it's a major religion. I was saying, if there was truth, if there's a creator and he's placed truth, that truth must be easily accessible if God wants us to find it. Or there is no point of him wanting us to find it. So, in order for it to be easily accessible, it has to be a major religion which is easily accessible. Because if it was not, there is millions of religions that are being made every day, which would mean it's impossible for anyone to find the truth. Which would mean that God did not intend anyone to find the truth to begin with. So what I'm saying, sister, is if you need to look for the truth, you would search the major ones. Because if there was no truth there, and it was somewhere else, you can easily say to God, I researched the easily accessible one. There was nothing else in front of me.
Allah made these religions more prominent so people can actually be happy.
No. Because I was just answering what you said, that I do not say to you, why do you believe in Islam, which you haven't researched X, Y, and Z. I'm saying it's fair that you research X, Y, and Z before you make any claims. That's what I think is fair, personally. So I think it's fair for me to say X is true, whatever it is. In order for me to say that, I think what is fair is that I've already looked at the other things, which I have done, right? But it was not an emotional decision that I've made based on just, I like Islam, makes me feel fuzzy inside, therefore I'm going to be a Muslim, Is it like that, Because there's a law in Islam, as you know, which can be difficult, like prayer, Fajr, you have to pray in the morning to wake up. I don't know if you know about Fajr prayer or not. Fajr prayer is a dawn prayer, You have to wake up that time to pray. There's a month of fasting, Ramadan. There's a lot of acts of worship that you need to do. There are things which you cannot do. Having a girlfriend, touching a woman which is not closely related to you. There are things in Islam which someone can think they're restrictive without looking at the wisdom behind them.
What do you think about where different types of Muslims have conflicts with each other, when you have the core values and belief sets in Islam that are not supposed to be as violent, and there's conflicts between Shias and Sunnis and a lot more other types of Muslims?
The answer to me is quite simple.
I'm just asking so I know.
Oh, sure. Sorry?
I'm just asking so I can get more.
Oh, no. I'm saying right now the answer to me is quite simple. And it is that I separate individuals from the religion structure. I don't care what people do. People can do whatever they want to do. But what does the religion say? Is the religion coherent, consistent, have evidences for its truth and its divine origin? Or is the religion itself telling you to do these things which you are finding problematic? So if the religion is telling me, be good, be kind to other people, don't kill, fight those only who fight you, defend yourself, and I go kill people and persecute them, then to me I cannot blame Islam for these individual actions. I would look at what Islam says and I would say, you know what, Islam is telling you to do the opposite. Someone is driving and there's a driving law, it's a perfect driving law, it's telling you, please, when it's red, stop, don't be an idiot, and you're just breaking the light, hitting people. I cannot then say, the driving law is incorrect. I would say the person is incorrect, the driving law is fine, right or wrong. So it's the same in Islam. So I don't bother much on what these people are doing, because Islam is giving us structures what is truth, is coherent, and it's telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Whether you adopt it or not, just because it happens that you're born in a Muslim family or someone says you are a Muslim, doesn't mean what you do is a representation of Islam. You get the point?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, coming back to where we are here, coming back to our point. So, what are you both what are you right now? Agnostic? What are you?
I'm more agnostic.
What
I'm
are
an
you?
atheist.
Okay. So you would incline more into atheism. How would you define atheism?
So necessarily I wouldn't say atheist. I'm a lot more. I don't want to say spiritual because it sounds really cringy and like like a kind of.
That's what people say in the West. So it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
sense that you say that because you're
No,
influenced by them.
Exactly, but I don't want to say it. That's why I'm saying I don't
Yes.
want to say it.
But you're still influenced by them
I know,
anyway,
exactly,
sir.
exactly.
Okay.
So
Yes.
I don't think that I should have a set I am Muslim or I am Christian kind of thing. I will believe what I want to believe and if I find comfort in Allah and if I believe that these laws are correct, I will follow. And it's kind of taking in any religion and anything being open to all. And that's kind of how I kind of go along my life. So it's not really atheist, as in I don't believe in Allah, I don't believe in God, but it's kind of being able to.
But that's agnostic in a sense as well. Because if you
Yeah,
were to
but-
find that which it suits what you're looking for, you would follow it.
So
Which
the-
means you are on the fence.
The thing is, the definition of agnostic is a lot of uncertainty, whereas with me, it's not uncertainty. I know what I want to believe in, I know what I don't want to believe in. With
Okay, that's fine.
agnostic,
That's fair enough.
a lot-
That's
a
fair
bit
enough.
more uncertain.
It's fair enough. You're saying is correct. As agnostics comes from anostos in Greek, which means without knowledge. So you're saying is correct. There's no problem in what
I
you're
have
saying.
a question, just because I looked to my university.
I'm quite confused though, because she differentiates between not knowing what to believe in and she is firm and know what she want to believe in. But okay, fine, but she didn't address whether she believed in a creator, in a God or not. Anyway,
Exam. But what do you think about how with the West they have viewed Islam with violence? How when they think of Islam, make 5 bullet points, one of the ones would be violence, How do you think that's come about and why do you think,
Well, I think because Islam, as simple as this, because Islam is the truth, it is being attacked by many people, right? Because if something does not have substance,
Yeah.
is not truth, you would not bother yourself by trying to attack that or making a bad image of it, right? So because Islam is true, and it goes against Western values, quote unquote, yeah?
Yeah.
You have to be very, very important there, yeah? So that is why they are fighting Islam. Like Islam says, don't have a casino, you don't have sexual immorality, don't drink alcohol. How many businesses are based on that? Islam says don't use interest and usury. Every bank in the world is based on that. So the more people follow Islam, the less people benefit the capitalistic society. Therefore, the capitalistic society, who actually has power in the world today, has to make a bad image of Islam to push people away. But what happens is the opposite. The more they push people away, the more people accept Islam. That's why it's the biggest growing religion in the world, according to Pew Research. So it's conversion rate, not birth rate. So people are accepting it willingly. Why? Because they hear so much evil, they come to us, like we're very busy as you can see. And then we have a discussion with them. And these people realize that actually Islam is true, Islam is good, and they start following it themselves.
Do you think it's more of a comfort thing?
No, I think Islam is true. That's why I said to you, sister, it's not about feelings, because you were saying to me just feelings. And you can have so many wrong feelings about so many wrong things, yeah? If you live in this society, I'm sure you've had so many experiences where you felt certain things and they were not right, okay? So if you use what you're doing, using your feelings as a parameter for truth, it's not a right thing to do, I would say personally. I would say it's a very vague parameter of truth because it's absolutely not stable. Do you get the point? So what I'm using is something completely different. I'm using what is consistent, what is logical, what is evidence-based, is what I'm going to accept, whoever it is, whether that be Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, bring me anything. If it has substance and value, it has evidences to its divine origin, it has answers to the questions that are being put forward, then that makes sense that this is true, then I should follow that. Yeah? Now, okay, let's talk about, for example, the existence of a creator. Leaving feelings aside, can something come into existence from nothing? Can something come into existence from nothing?
I suppose not.
What about you? What do you think?
No. I don't
Okay,
think so.
so we don't believe like can be a magician now and bring gold from nothingness, right? So we don't believe that something comes into existence from nothing. By nothing, I mean the absence of energy, space, matter, everything. Is nothing, literally, no thing, absence of something. So we cannot have something from that because there's no agency, there's no change will take place because there's no force, right? So we are saying that the universe now is in existence and it has a starting point. Can we have the universe from nothing using the same logic? Can I have something from nothing? We cannot have a universe from nothing, can we? Okay, so the universe has to come from something or somewhere. Yeah?
What do you think about Islam has been introduced then, but not before?
We don't believe that.
You think Islam...
No, every Muslim believes that Islam started with Adam, first human being. Islam, do you know what the word Islam means? Islam means to submit to your creator and maker. Muslim is submitter, if I translate it word for word to the English. So Islam, that when Adam was submitting to Allah's laws, he was a Muslim. And if you check history actually, you'd see that Islam was always there. Like for example, Abraham was not Christian or Jewish because there was no gospel or Torah, there was no Moses yet, and there was no Isaac, and there was no Judah. So what religion did Abraham follow? Abraham submitted to his Lord. Every religious person who believes in Abraham will say, yes, he did. God told him, slaughter your son. He took his own son. So that...
Yeah, what he said, because suddenly it struck me, because I just coincidentally recently just read the verse where Allah said in the Quran, right, that the Jews are claiming Abraham, the Christians are claiming Abraham. But how can you claim that Abraham is from your own faith when your faith formulated after him, right? The only thing that he is he submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to God, to one true God. And Islam is the religion that claims that it is starting from Adam, Noah onwards until the last Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I haven't heard any Christian or Jews, but unfortunately I do not have that many, or I do not have anyone from Jewish background to have conversation with. But I haven't heard any from these two religions that claims it started from before. Yeah. Especially when we talk about the core of the belief, right? But anyway,
there is no more submission than this, right? So Abraham was submissive to God. Do you know how he prayed? He fell on his face. Muslims pray like this.
Yeah.
Do you know where circumcision comes from? It comes from Abraham. Not eating pork, all of these things, they trace back to Abraham. And even before Abraham, we believed in Noah and Adam. And we believe these things were present, and the message was already there, believing in one creator, from the time of Adam, before Christianity was ever known to humanity, or Judaism. So Islam was there from point A. And that is supported by historical evidence anyways, that there was monotheism first before, unlike what the West is trying to push forward anyways. So that's what we believe. Islam was always there. But coming back to the point of existence of a creator, because it's an essential point, which is can lead you to where you have to go. So the universe has to come from somewhere. If the universe has to come from somewhere, we say that this table, for example, is impossible for you to manufacture it and make it without the necessary material. You agree? It's impossible. It's impossible for you to create the universe without the necessary attributes to create the universe or bring it into existence. Yeah, create and bring it into existence are synonymous anyways. Yeah. So if I want to bring the universe into existence, I would need power that's not comprehensible from a human aspect, wisdom and knowledge that is not comprehensible from a human aspect. I would need to be independent of it before it, and I would need to be not restricted by its laws. Because I start its laws. Yes. What do you want to say?
So I also believe everything has a creator. Or
so that's logical, right? Meaning God have to be of that attributes to actually create the universe.
No, something like creator, because you can't magically appear.
Everything created has a creator.
Yes, exactly. But necessarily, does it have to be Allah? So what is there to say it is Allah? There's a lot of history with it.
The answer to that would be that when you say everything, you're referring to the universe.
Yes. Yeah.
And in order for the universe to come into existence, it has to come from somewhere, as I said. If that somewhere has the attributes that I told you, then that somewhere would be what we define to be Allah. You understand? So there is something that created the universe. It cannot create the universe without these attributes. And whatever has these attributes, Muslims refer to it as Allah. Do you understand? It's a basic concept, right? So that would answer what you're saying. We say whatever created the universe needs these attributes. And if anything has these attributes, we call that thing God or Allah. Therefore, we say Allah created the universe from that aspect. Now, because these are attributes of the Creator, right? So now if you want to say, why is Islam true, that's a different question. You get the point I'm trying to say. But we still have to submit to the idea there has to be something with these attributes, which is our common attributes for God, for any religion. Any religion believes in these core attributes. Powerful in a way you can understand, intelligent in a way you can understand, independent and created the world, right? And has a will to initiate an act. All of them believe in these things, right? So, from that point of view then, would you agree with me that there must be a creator, and you cannot then come from the perspective saying that there is no creator?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's what we say as Muslims. This is where I come from a logical base, without using Quran or Islam or anything. You'd have to accept this idea, right? Then if there is a creator, when I create something, I give it purpose. When I made this phone, the person who made this phone, he gave it the purpose for you to use it for communication, research, and this and that, right? Is the purpose. It's given by the manufacturer or the maker. Also, no one knows about the phone more than the manufacturer, right? So the manufacturer tells you, gives you a manual, do this and don't do that because this is good and this is bad for the phone, right? Now we say if we're created by a creator, then it follows necessarily as well that creator is the one who gives us the purpose, because he's the one who brought us into existence, right? Because he's the one who brought us into existence. And we would say that the creator would be the best person to tell us what is good and bad for us, because he's the one who created us and he knows everything about us. Does that make sense? Okay. So this is where Islam comes into the picture. So Islam.
Okay, up to this point, the logical argument that he brings forth, I believe it should be, how to say, meaning that this is a common ground between all religion, not all religion, but major religion that claims to be from the Creator, because there are major religion that do not believe in, either do not believe in God or Creator, or believe in many gods, which is also a problematic in terms of logical, right? So basically Islam, Judaism, Christianity and the likes will have that similarity up to this point, right? I don't think there's difference there between establishing that there must be a creator, right?
Islam is a revelation that comes from the Creator to tell you what is your purpose in life, what you're doing here, and what's going to happen to you when you die. And it is also telling you the good and bad moral aspects of life.
What do you think about Muslims who eat pork and have premarital sex, or?
Her question is quite interesting, where this brother want to bring forth from the core question and then move from there, right? Meaning establishing first, do you believe in God? Can you accept that it is impossible to have these things existing without a creator, and move on step by step? But her question is always start from the other side, right? Meaning that in a specific case, right? What do you think about people see Islam as violence? What do you think about, meaning it's always start there. So I think this discussion is quite interesting, where one's trying to start from the basic core questions. One is the question is about issues, or smaller things.
Smoke and drink.
They're sinners, that's it, but they're Muslims.
Okay. So that you still classified as Muslims?
It's not me who does it, but it's the religion. Yeah, it's the religion that does, and the religion has specific things that can take you out of the fold of Islam. If you do not do them, then you're still a Muslim. So if you do them, then we call that person as not a Muslim, right? But if you do, because we believe every human being makes sense, including Muslims, right? So, but the reason is why you're doing these things, I would personally say, it's out of your own ignorance. You do not know why these things are prohibited in Islam. You do not understand the wisdom behind them. That would be the only reason for you to do them. If you truly understood these things, you would not be doing these things. That's what I would say.
I have another question, and I'm not sure the full story about it.
No problem.
So I will just assume that I know, but I think it was Muhammad, I could be wrong, where they went to a cave and saw signs on the walls, the cave walls, is that right?
I'm just letting you tell me the story first.
I'm not too sure about it, that's
Yes.
why. Where he went to a cave and there was...
Prophet went to a cave, he was meditating there,
and there
he
was
got
like
revelation
signs,
there.
There was like pictures on the walls?
No. No.
I'm not too sure about it, I'm asking.
No. Prophet Muhammad.
Where did she get that from? That is the first time ever I have heard anyone say something like that, right? Because no one Not even those who want to discredit Muhammad SAW ever said that, to my knowledge. That's interesting.
Lived with these people for 40 years. These people know him as the trustworthy, the honest. Those titles they gave him, Sadiq al-Amin, literally. They called him the trustworthy, the honest. When they had disputes, they used to go back to him. Because they trusted his judgment. And they know he was not biased towards anyone. He's just sincere with everyone, right? Then his people used to worship idols. He believed that worshipping idols is not correct. Idols, you make them with your own hand. If you make them with your own hand, you can destroy them with your own hand. So he used to move away from his people, go to a cave called Cave of Hira. Ghar Hira, cave of Hira, yeah? Then what he used to do is he used to meditate or try to worship the Creator. Try to worship the Creator. What happened is he had an encounter with what we call Angel Gabriel. Angel Gabriel, who by the way, angels, we don't believe they're women with wings and this and that, yeah?
Yeah.
Believe angels are a creation. We do not comprehend as humans, they're a completely different realm, right? So Angel Gabriel came to the Prophet to give him the message, and he received the first revelation of the Quran there. He was terrified. He went back to his wife because he didn't know what happened to him, and he said, Zammiluni, cover me. So his wife covered him. Then he said, I'm feeling something bad is happened to me. She said to him, no, by God, nothing bad will happen to you because you are good to everyone. You tie your ties of kingship, you give people, you help the poor, you feed the poor, right?
Yeah.
So God will never do anything evil to you. Then he explained to her what happened. She took her to one of her cousins called Waraq ibn Nawfal, who was a Christian, or someone, a Christian in a sense, yeah?
Yeah.
So he used to read the biblical scriptures and things like that, and he used to translate them. So he told him that this is the same angel that came down on Moses. And he told him, you're a messenger. The angel that comes to the messengers, and the people will kick you out. People are going to kick you out when you preach to them. I wish I was there to support you. So he said, will they kick me out? I just told you this. You call him the honest, the trustworthy. Why would they kick him out? He was surprised. He said, yes, they will kick you out because every messenger was kicked out by his people when he brought the idea of worshiping from God. So when he went and he preached to his people, he said to them, if there is a mountain behind, if there is an army behind this mountain, if I told you there's an army behind this mountain, would you believe me? He said, yes. He said, I'm the messenger of God. He said, we don't believe you. Why? Because they said, leave the religion of your forefathers, and they wanted to follow the religion of their forefathers. So that's the basic, this is the start of revelation in Islam. But the Quran comes down in 23 years period. So it didn't all come down in the cave of Hira like some people think. No, it came in 20 years, right? The first revelation was Surah Iqra, and it was happening in that cave.
So a little bit backstory. I'm Turkish. I'm from Turkey.
Sure.
And I'm
You?
Bangladesh.
So I thought, yeah. You live in Bangladesh, that's
and
right.
I'm named after a woman called Elefana, who died around just like 10-15 years ago.
Okay.
But she was viewed as a person who can foresee the future, not in like a spiritual, mystical kind of way, but as in like a something bad's gonna happen, like we should like that kind of thing.
Very big things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was more things from that she had like signs from God for her, and then she would be like, hey, this is what it is.
So she claimed.
Okay, exactly. So I'm making this is like from home. I'm making this to the prophets. Do you think that's also the same kind of analogy from Elefana and these prophets, where they came to I claim this and this is true?
First, how old are you guys? You seem young. How old are you?
21.
19.
19. Okay, I thought you were younger than this. Good. So, what I would say is the following, which is something that is proof. Let's use it as proof.
Okay, so I guess the video will continue to part 2. I don't really understand the question though. She mentioned that there someone claimed to have something from God, I think, and she asked, if I understand correctly, whether that can be parallel to how we maybe the question is, maybe the Prophet also is something like that, right? But anyway, as I mentioned, the brother comes from want to establish the foundation and move one step at a time. She always have these issues where, but I can understand, because most people, as far as I have seen and heard, right, especially those who used to be Muslim or have Muslim background, meaning born and raised in a Muslim family, that is no longer Muslim. Normally the issue that I have is more of the branches, right, the furu'iyah. I have never encountered anyone who the issue is the core belief. Yeah, and I think that's the failure of the Ummah, in the sense that we fail to establish the core, that just some issues that they do not understand and they do not comprehend can make them leave Islam. So that's sad. Anyway, yeah, I do not. I'm interested to watch the second part. But anyway, what else should I comment on? I guess that's for today. Thank you for watching. See you next time.